Hello, welcome back to my channel. So back here in this box I have a Winegard Air360 Plus TV antenna. What we're going to do is do an unboxing on that. So it's a large dome antenna. It has HDTV, FM, and then you can buy an add-on module which gives you the 4G LTE and Wi-Fi extender capability. This antenna retails for about $129, and the Wi-Fi add-on module is about $225. It includes a piece of cable, installation manual, and a bunch of parts. And of course the dome itself. The dome is actually really lightweight. And I set the dome here over on my postage scale, and it is 3 pounds and 8 ounces. And on the base of the dome we have your TV antenna connection and then 3 small wires here with some little gold colored terminals on the end. We'll go through the parts that are included in this little bag. This is a little ceiling cover, which would be where your Wi-Fi access point would go. It would be mounted generally right below the antenna. Switch plate for the wire and a switch. FM antenna adapter. And this is your wall plate for your TV antenna with your booster switch on it. Pretty much standard fare for all RVs. Various connectors on the back. And this looks like power lead for probably for the Wi-Fi extender. And an assortment of screws and electrical connectors. And we've got our installation manual. The dome of the antenna is held on by a couple of screws. And it looks like there's 4 screws. And there's a little rubber gasket around here, which kind of makes the lid stuck in place. The technique to getting the dome off of the base is hold it with 2 hands and kind of flex the flange down just a little bit while you pull up on the dome, and then just kind of rotate your way around. And do be careful when you get everything loose, because the TV antenna is actually attached to the roof of the dome, and that's where the cable is attached. So the only reason to pull this off is if you wanted to mount the Wi-Fi gateway inside of the dome. There's capabilities to mount it either in the ceiling of the RV or actually inside of the dome. And you can see that gray cable right here. 2 of these circuit boards are your cellular antennas, and then one of them is the Wi-Fi antenna. The advantage to mounting the Wi-Fi router inside of the cover is then you don't have that unsightly beige colored box hanging down from your ceiling, that's the only purpose this would be, is if your rig came with this pre-installed, the RV manufacturer would route these little gray wires, attach them to this cover, have a hole in the ceiling, and then screw this cover to the ceiling, and then that would be your pre-wire location for the Wi-Fi router. But if I opt to do the Wi-Fi router, I'm pretty sure that I'll mount it inside of the cover. So for installing the unit on the roof of the RV, you don't have to pull this cover off. The only reason to pull the cover off is to mount the Wi-Fi router inside. And in doing that, you would take these small gray cables, and the instruction manual describes exactly how to do it, but there's clips around the perimeter of the base, and then you attach these little cables to those various clips in different locations with zip ties. And that's outlined on page 6 and 7 of the installation manual. And this cable here is the power cable for the Wi-Fi extender, and this would, one end would go up to the base, the flange unit, and then the other end would connect to your switch, and then you would also have to extend this ground wire to the grounding source in the RV, and then also run a wire to this switch from a power source in the RV. And one other thing to note is if you're going to install this to replace an existing antenna, then it's a good idea to go ahead and pull the dome off so that you can line up this hole with your existing hole in the roof. Dimensions of the antenna, we are looking at about 8.5 inches tall, and then the diameter, I just flip it upside down and measure across it. 18 inches in diameter of the flange, and our flange protrudes from the dome just about an inch all the way around. Yep, exactly an inch. Now, one thing that I do not understand about this antenna, and the manual does not describe it, is the FM antenna connection. On the back of this plate, we have a place for the antenna to go in, and then a place for cable. So if your RV had a RV park cable connection, that would go here. The port on the front is TV 1, that's to your main TV, and then the port on the back that's labeled set 2 would be for your auxiliary TV. Usually it would be your bedroom TV. And then the two spade terminals on the bottom of the circuit board are used to connect 12-volt power for the antenna booster function. That other cable, that cable for the Wi-Fi extender, that is completely standalone from this. The manual is kind of vague about the FM connection. The only mention of it is on page 4 of the manual, and it says an additional coax cable, which isn't provided, will have to run from the wall plate to the coax to audio cable adapter and then into the radio. I called and talked to Winegard tech support. The gentleman put me on hold for a few minutes, which kind of gave me the impression he didn't even know how to connect this. A few minutes later, he comes back on the phone and says what I needed to do was connect a splitter. He was kind of vague and didn't provide any more details, so I guess what he means is to connect a splitter to set 2 output and then split that off to go to your FM antenna adapter and also your secondary TV set. Instruction manual has no reference to how to connect the FM antenna function. And here it is right here. It talks about installing it on the roof. 1-inch hole in the roof, your over-the-air cable, which is basically the cable that goes from the antenna to the jack panel. So I'm not too impressed with the whole thing. So it turned out I can't install it anyway on my RV due to the impossibility of trying to route this cable through the roof and wall and whatnot, so that's going to be an abandoned project, so I'm going to send this back. There's numerous RV manufacturers that are installing this product at their factory when the RVs are built, and they must be using a different jack panel, because typically what I find in most RVs is that their jack panel has a jack for the antenna output to the TV and then also a jack for the satellite output to the TV. And then on the back of the panel there would be some sort of a provision to hook up satellite input, which then would connect up to generally a wall port on the outside of your RV where your satellite dish would plug into. So my conclusion is that this is a really good antenna for a RV OEM manufacturer to use, but it's going to be really difficult to install as an aftermarket product to attempt to upgrade your RV to this system.